Hey everybody, welcome back to Marsh RC, sponsored by White Rose Hobby and RC Command. We're here today to start the White Rose truck. So I got the bags laid out here on my shop table. I'm not going to film the whole process of me building this truck. I'm not going to sit here and do it in one sitting as much as I'd love to. I'm just going to film a little bit, talk a little bit here and there about the building process. Kind of what I think you guys might want to see or be interested in, or the tricky parts of putting a kit together in case you have never put a kit together before. There are some areas where you want to, kind of not sure about, the instructions might not be 100% sure or clear, so let's dive into it. So the first thing obviously we're going to want to do is open up the instruction manual, because I don't know too many people, no matter how good they are with RC cars, who could possibly put one of these together without the instruction manual. And considering I'm currently recording on my iPad, I cannot pull up my digital copy that I have, so we're going to use the old paperback. So this is the decal kit that you get with this. We're not going to be using any of these at all, really, because we're not going to be using the body. I think we're just going to give this into the hobby shop and sell it, or maybe do a design on it and sell it that way. Who knows? We'll see. The other thing that you'll come in here are your frame rails, screws, tools. See that for a second. And then these are your window masks to paint your body, so if you want to keep your windows cleared. We'll set this off to the side, we won't need that. And then of course here is the all-important manual. If you've never looked in one of these manuals, they're kind of cool. There's some really good things, even if you're not building the kit, to keep your manual. And the reason that any truck you buy new, or even if you buy old, you can download the manuals, and they're really good to have because they have, no matter if it's the kit version or an RTR version, they will have these here, which, depending on what you have, it's to the degree of what these exploded views will be, but every one of them will have the parts list for the truck. So if you break something and you aren't going aftermarket and you want to keep it axial stock stuff, these are all the numbers that you need to look up the part that you need. So they're really handy to keep around. Plus tells you what you need to have in your truck. If you get the kit version, it'll tell you all the tools necessary to do the job, such as your hex wrenches, your socket drivers, your basic tools. And then also it has parts reference in the first couple pages, which is nice because it'll tell you what parts are on what screws, what comes together. So it's really handy. The other thing too is this part here. I keep one of these sheets. I have it laminated from an old book that I had. It's really handy because these screws here are 1-to-1 size in a lot of cases. So it's handy to have, because if you have a random screw laying around, or if you lose a screw but you know what the other one is, you can sit it on top of this page right here, or bearings or pins, whatever. You can actually sit it on here and it's going to be an actual 1-to-1 representation of that. Alright, so here the first thing that this is telling us to do is open up bag A, and looks like we're going to start with axles, which is pretty common. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the bag, and then I'll probably build a little bit till we get to maybe a tricky part or something that I think you guys should see, and then I'll bring the video back. But here it is. If you have the kit version, bag A, it says bag A right on it, right here. But it also is the only one that has the red diff covers in it. So, alright, I'm gonna get started. Hey guys, welcome back. This is a spot that I wanted to stop and show you a little bit on building the front and rear axles right now. When it comes time to put these things together, you have to grease them. It shows you right there. You need to grease them. This is how I grease it. I've seen other people do it differently. I basically just take a thin line and grease around that. And then the pinion gear, I do the same thing. I don't quite put as much on the pinion gear as I do on the ring gear. So just wanted to show you that real quick, and I'll get back to it. All right, I wanted to show you guys another piece right here. I'm still assembling the axles. I'm working on the front right now. I'm on this step right here. So if you see here, when you're connecting all these pieces right here, it's telling you to note direction. And sometimes that's hard to tell where they want you to align things. But Axial does something really cool with these kits, and I'm going to show you on the axles themselves. So if you look here, you can see a little line, and then on here you see another little line. So basically when you are slipping these things on, which they're the groove, when you're slipping them on, you just want to line those lines up. And then you can tell here when those lines are not being met up. So that wouldn't be correct. So you just slip it off. Maybe. Sorry, holding my camera with one hand so I could get a close-up view of this. Adjust it, slip it back on, and you're good to go. Alright, just wanted to show you that. Alright everybody, we're back. I got the front and rear axles both completely done. I got all the links done, the steering links done. We're all good to go. Really not much to it other than following directions. The links, I hate links so much, but the links can be tricky sometimes depending on what you actually have to be doing with them. And what I mean by that is, like, these links right here, there's two different curves. There's this curve, and then there's that curve. And if you've never done links before with putting the threads in them and the ends on them, basically you have these straight screws, and you have to put them into the rod ends, the plastic rod ends, and then screw them into the link themselves. And they're not hard, but to get it so that there's no gap in between the rod end and the link itself, and to make sure it's like that on both ends, sometimes can be a bit of a hassle, a bit of a trick. Let's kind of put the screws in, put it on the link, see how it works, and just go from there, and just trial and error, trial and error, trial and error. So the next thing that the instructions call to do are the shocks. Now, I'm not even going to do the shocks because we're going to be replacing the shocks with the Proline Power Stroke 6060-00. So I'm going to skip this page entirely and move straight over here and start putting the transmission together. And then after the transmission, this is still transmission, comes the drive shafts. After drive shafts comes battery tray. I'm probably going to go up to transmission tonight, get the transmission built, and I'll show you the transmission, and then that'll be the wrap up of this video. Catch you then. Alright everybody, there it is. Here is the transmission and the transfer case. Sorry about the lighting right here, it's kind of hard to get good angles on these black parts, but it's all done, everything's in there. I didn't take any video of the internals in this thing. I did take pictures, so I'll insert some pictures after the end of this part of the video, that way you can get an idea of what's in there. And that's it. So all in all, in the first day of building, we got the transmission and the transfer case done, and we got the axles and the links done. Not too bad for the first day of building. Anyway guys, please share, like, comment, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Please, again, always go check out White Rose Hobbies and Marsh RC Facebook pages, RC Command Facebook page. I'll have all those links in the description below, and stay tuned for the next segment of this build video.